get everybody else to join. We're supposed to have a new a return guest, an OG from my first live. My first live was with Brandy Chantel, and it was just me and her one on one, and she talked about some of her goings ons. And then after that, there was the other live. So this is episode 12. If y'all didn't know, I know y'all ain't been counting, but I did the count today. This is episode number 12.
Sir,
this is episode 12.
Wow.
12. Yeah. So we making the rounds. We making the rounds. Anyway, so I'm gonna jump straight into it. Did y'all both watch the Chris Rock special? I'm gonna play a little bit. I'm not gonna play all of it. I'm just gonna play a little bit of it, and I want to get y'all's opinions on it. But the title is Selective Outrage. I love that title because we have seen what selective outrage is on social media and on the regular media. We know what the hell selective outrage is. I want to play a tidbit of Chris Rock as he goes in on the end part, specifically on Jada and Will. We know what time it is.
Smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows. Everybody fucking knows. Yes, it happened. I got smacked like a year ago. Fucking last week, I got smacked at the fucking Oscars by this motherfucker. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ear. Shit, man. Did it hurt? Yeah, motherfucker, it hurt. And people are like, well, you guys are fighting all the time. We're not fighting. First of all, I know you can't tell on camera. Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. But Will Smith practices selective outrage. Practices selective outrage. Because everybody knows what the fuck happened. Everybody that really knows I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't have any entanglements. And for people that don't know, and everybody knows, his wife was fucking her son's friend, okay? And we all been cheated on. Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us. It's like, hey, I was sucking somebody else's dick. How did that make you feel? Everybody called him a bitch. They called his wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch. Everybody. And who's he hit? Me. A nigga he know he could beat. That is some bitch ass shit.
I have so many things to say about
that. Now, okay, and I want you to go first, and then I want Frank to go. Then I'll come on the back end of it. Go ahead.
First of all, he has selective hearing because he evidently didn't actually watch the Red Table Talk where Will explicitly stated that him and Jada were separating and they were both dating other people. So this whole he cheating narrative, she cheated on you, no, I need people to stop that. Jada became so vilified for that interview when Will sat up there and said, I was probably dating more people than you were. We just don't know who Will was dating. That's the only difference. Mm-hmm. We know August Alsina because, of course, he tell all the tea. But, and that's the part, that's what shuts it down for me. Because number one, you're basing your joke or your feelings about this man on a lie. If you're gonna tell the story, tell the truth, and it'd be fine. But no, you're like, well, she cheated on him. No, she didn't. It was an agreement between two people. But because we as a Black community don't necessarily vibe with alternative lifestyles when it comes to relationships and sex, it's nah, she cheated. No, y'all are just underdeveloped socially when it comes to the expanse of what relationships are. I think he also has selective outrage. I understand what he's saying about Will having selective outrage, because if you look back at the clips from the Oscars, Will laughed at first. And then when Jada made the face, that's when he went and slapped the shit out of Chris. So it was one of those let me stand up for my wife things. But at the same time, he was right. Everybody was calling this man a bitch. Everybody had everything to say about Will. And it could be in that moment he saw his wife's face, all of that just came up and like, you know what? I'm slapping the shit out of somebody right now.
It just so happened to be, and it just so happened to be
absolutely
Chris Rock. Now, I want to weigh in real quick before I let you get it, Frank. I think the cheating narrative gets conflated with Jada referring to the situation as an entanglement that it evolved into after it was what it was. Because when you throw this entanglement part in there, that typically means I got caught up something that was beyond our agreed standards in that lifestyle. But the way she framed it, and the way everybody took it, because when you say entanglement, that means you got caught up in something that wasn't part of the agreed upon standard. You wouldn't be saying I got up in an entanglement if I stuck to the rule. I'm talking about her definition. I ain't talking about by the book. If you say we live this lifestyle, but I got caught up in an entanglement, to me, to everybody listening, like, okay, y'all went one way, and then something else came out of it that he did not like. So what does she mean by entanglement?
No, so
I remember her.
I remember the Red Table Talk too. Yeah. I watched that one a couple times. Number one, they were not necessarily in an open marriage like they were staying married. They were separated. They were about to divorce.
So what was the entanglement then?
The entanglement was that she was messing with August Alsina and then developed feelings for him. That is kind of what entanglement is more related to. The relationship went farther than I expected. Not necessarily hold on.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Necessarily that the relationship went past an agreement so much as the two people in the relationship went farther than they expected.
So how does it feel? So how did it filter back into their marriage then?
It didn't. The reason they even had that table talk was because a previous table talk, August was on there. And then August was going around telling everybody. So they came to the table to address the August Alsina situation. It didn't fall back into their marriage like that. They eventually decided to get back together, but they were trying to address why August was out there running his mouth. And it backfired.
And I'll say this. I also think, let's be fair, there's another part that Chris Rock put in there that people will gloss over. So let's just say it wasn't cheating, and let's just say the entanglement was her feelings. She said that was her son's friend. That was an acquaintance along those lines. And so I'm going to say this. It's one thing for you to just be messing around with who you messing around with, your side boo, your side boyfriend, but you got to go you got to go play in the backyard. Listen, a lot of that, maybe that's the caveat. However, the world was definitely referring to Will Smith the way that the world was, and Will Smith ain't said nothing to nobody. And I do believe Chris Rock caught some of what was built up inside of Will along the way. I do believe he caught some of that smoke. Go ahead, Frank.
I'll try and get the earbuds working. But so the whole entanglement thing has been talked to and has been exhausted real long time ago. I ain't even gonna touch that. As far as Chris Rock, that part was like, come on, dude. It's been like a year, and he said it's been like a year. And to me, that's like, he should have named a special, hey, y'all remember when Will slapped me? Like,
but that wasn't majority of the show.
Okay, that part.
All the part people remember.
That wasn't but that wasn't. See, that's another thing. That was less than 5 minutes of the entire show.
It was 7.
That's what. But let's be clear. That's what everybody wanted to hear something about. You know why? Because he never spoke on it. He never spoke on it. He
should have kept it that way.
See, no. See, that's selective outrage right there. Because let me tell you what happened. No, let me tell you what would have happened if he didn't say nothing. Everybody would be like, so he just gonna give us a whole hour, but he ain't addressed getting smacked by Will. I guarantee that would have been part of the narrative.
But the opposite of the narrative is he gave us all of that and then had to shit on Will at the end and drop a mic like he did something.
But because he felt like
he's gonna be vilified.
They're selective outrage. It don't matter. It doesn't, and that's why I like the title. Because it didn't matter how he addressed it. If he didn't address it, somebody was going to say something. He did address it, somebody going to say something. Then how he addressed it, people feel some way. If he would have been too nice, people going to say he should have went off. He called her a bitch, everybody feels some way. Like it, there's no winning. There was no winning. I liked it. I definitely felt he went the way he should have went. And I mean, I thought he was a little nicer than he should have been, being that it's Chris Rock. But hey, go ahead, Frank. You got something else to say about it?
Yeah. I think that because people keep saying, well, hey, Will slapped him. Yeah, he did.
Got fired up.
And a lot of people say, well, if that was Dave Chappelle, Will wouldn't have slapped him. If that was The Rock, Will wouldn't have slapped him. If that was DMX situation and he was sitting in the Oscars, Chris Rock wouldn't have said anything about his wife. You know what I'm saying?
I do believe. I think you make a fair point. I think that's a fair point.
They thought they was going.
People been feeling like, and Will said that people been thinking that they can just speak on me freely for so long. I'm telling you, I think it was built up. It was a build up.
I mean, so it comes to a point where, man, like, hey, enough is enough.
Right.
Because ever since Will has been in the public eye, from Parents Just Don't Understand to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to Men in Black, Getting Jiggy with It. He's been the Oreo, you know what I'm saying? By him being a rapper and a black rapper, he didn't fit. He doesn't fit the mold of the standard black rapper. He ain't a gangster, so people think that they can run their mouth about that man. And then and you can take that on the chin, you know what I'm saying? Like, say whatever you want to say about me, but then folks started going in on his wife. Granted, she opened up the floodgates with this red table talk thing, and she started putting their bit. They were doing fine when their stuff was kept out of the public eye.
There was always little stuff around.
See, I think that kept opening his mouth.
Well, no, I'm saying no. There was always no before Red Table Talk.
Yeah, you're right.
There was always, because they were that couple that everybody was looking at. And they were Beyonce and Jay-Z before Beyonce and Jay-Z. They were the star couple, both young stars, and she took her seat. Her career was put on the back burner. And then little stuff about Will and the lifestyle and Hollywood that started creeping.
And all of that.
And then Jada and Tupac. This has been years on top of years of stuff about them. And Will being questioned and Jada being it's been so much for a long time. It's been a long time it's been years. It's been 20 years of shit.
So you can apply the same thing to Chris Rock getting slapped at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, you can talk about my wife in front of everybody at the Oscars.
An actual medical condition at that.
So it's like, and people keep saying, well, it was a light joke, and it wasn't that. He shouldn't have got slapped. I mean, he shouldn't have got slapped for that. How can you determine that? You
can't legislate people's responses, which is I feel the same way about Chris Rock. Chris Rock got slapped. You can't legislate how that man responds. You can't say he got a time limit. There's no statute of limitations. Just like
I'm saying, for me, my opinion, if for it to have been more effective, he should have came out the gate. Either he should have did something right then and there, backstage, or within a week or whatever. So just apply.
You gotta monetize it. No, you gotta monetize it these days. You gotta monetize
that's what it was.
You gotta monetize
that's
everything.
That's why I don't think it's genuine either. Because it's almost like you knew, oh, I got the shit slapped out of me. This is about to be a moneymaker. I'm gonna sit on this.
But but hold on. But let's apply the standard.
Everybody gonna be talking about.
Wait, let's apply the comedic standard. So many comedians do this with everything that goes on in their life. When Martin Lawrence was caught butt naked running out, he waited. He didn't address that immediately. You couldn't get him to get on a microphone. When Dave Chappelle went overseas and was gone, you couldn't get that man. And then when he came back, he started. That's what comedians do. We got to remember we're talking artists on both ends of this spectrum. Will Smith's an artist. Chris Rocks are artists. They're actors, they're producers, they're writers, they're directors. They both do all this stuff. So when they typically respond to stuff, there's usually a delayed reaction because they feel that they got to put this together, sit on this. They want to bring it out in their artistic form, and they want it to ring bells when they do. Like that's the way they do things. What's up, man? Look. He come in with the beard. Y'all think that y'all don't think that was by design? Y'all don't think since that bullshit.
You need to go on and retire so you can grow one too.
There you go. That's exactly what I need to do. Stand by. Let me go get my beard real quick. I'm gonna go get me
one. What's up, Chef?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I couldn't find one. I couldn't find no beard.
Well.
I see you made the stream.
I did.
She did, man. She wasn't gonna leave us hanging.
I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to figure out like why, and I've obviously never been through a divorce, right? But why, if you know something is coming, you know it's coming down the road, why that day is it like kind of more stressful or whatever? I'm just asking. I'm genuinely curious.
It's just the totality of the ending.
It's final.
It's final. It's like, you know, this is the day I can actually mark in my calendar that I failed. So yeah, it's a little.
And you know what? Let me say, I have respect for that transparency when you say it like that, because that's how I felt about it, even though I felt it was necessary for me and my ex to do that. And that's how I felt about it, because nobody goes in thinking that they're not going to get it right. And then even if you know that it's the end and you need to move forward, you do look at it as a failure. These people that run around marketing it as a graduation, as a celebration, as a party, that is a front 99% of the time. Bro, let me tell you. I dated a woman who, her husband, I hope she don't see this, he pulled a gun on her in front of her kids. He went to slander her. He did all kind of craziness. And she told me after her divorce party was over, after all that dust settled, she still felt some way like the party was just a part. She said it was a front. She said it was still a failure for me, even though she wanted to make it seem like a celebration. But yeah, like she said, it's that nail in the coffin. That nail in the coffin.
It's literally like watching the body be dropped to the ground.
Mm.
And it's
I wonder if it's different for men and women.
I don't think so.
I think so. For me, I would say, and for some of the men that I know have went through it, so for me, it felt like a failure, and it was a finality. Looking at the whole family dynamic of it, it wasn't a good feeling. You got to go through that. Not saying you sit. I didn't sit and stew in any sort of depression or anything like that. But it was not nothing to celebrate. That's what I'm saying. It was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? This is here now. And yeah, I'm glad that it's over with. But damn, like I didn't get that right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're a goal oriented, you know, you're a man, you want to conquer, you want to not that. And when a woman wants to win and survive, it's Unless you have been only thing I would say might be different for men. This the other side to that. When they literally have been drugged by a woman through this process, them motherfuckers be happy. When it's been, bro, I've seen that side of it too.
Yeah.
So I think it's depends on the circumstances, Mark.
For us, it was something neither one of us wanted to do, but we knew had to happen.
Right. So
we both kind of felt the same. I don't know if the same level, but we both felt some sort of like, I put my all into it and it still ended. And when you are like you said, goal oriented, it's like, well, shit, I gave it everything and I still couldn't do it.
And I still couldn't get it.
Damn.
Is this life even? Is this lifestyle even for me?
Right.
Like, damn,
it's tough.
Yeah, I couldn't get that right. Yeah. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. I wanted to get Marcus's take on. There you go. I think he's back. I wanted to get his.
I had to mute. I had to put the top up real quick.
Changed the whole damn subject. Got me sitting here about to cry and shit.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Hold on. I want to get Marcus's take on Chris Rock's Selective Outrage. Mark, we need to get your take on that.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was classic Chris Rock. Mm-hmm. You know me, man. I'm not. I don't deal with the CP police and all like that. So I'm of the ilk that when it's especially when it's a comedian, man. What do you expect them to do? They got to get up there and tell jokes, and everything that he said was funny. For the most part, I laughed at it. So and the message is right. You know what I'm saying? It's selective outrage. So there you go.
Yeah, I definitely with selective. I definitely the messaging of it, the substance of it, was definitely apropos with everything that he talked about and doing, and even the other stuff like the subjects leading up to. He went through different subjects and different circumstances. Oh, I got somebody else coming on the live soon. But he definitely broke all that down.
My biggest thing about the whole Chris Rock thing, and his jokes I didn't really care about so much. But because the only thing I remember, because my now ex-husband called me and we were talking about it. He was like, at the end, he said, you don't fight in front of white folks. And I said, I get that. However, you also don't put down your people in front of white folk either. So which one is it?
That's even worse.
My biggest beef.
That's even worse to me. Because when you talk about your folk in front of them folk, then they're gonna feel empowered to do the same thing. Especially if y'all have a rapport with each other and you're cool with them. I don't complain about black people in front of white people or any other people.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Do white people complain about white people in front of other people?
No, they stay on code.
Hold on, wait. Let me,
for real.
Let me do this.
Stay on code, and
hold on, wait. Let me reframe that because I know where he's going. They have a different way in which they present it. See, black people we present it as if things are exclusive to us, and white people don't present things as if it's exclusive to them. But they're not. It's not that they're not presenting them; they're presenting them. Because every white comedian I've liked, they're tearing up white people, white women, white men, culture, everything as it relates to them. The whole manosphere is built originally off of white men tearing up single white women mothers, the culture, feminism. They're not talking about black women because that's not their sphere. But when you're the majority collective, what do? You have the privilege in which to not even have to associate it with you indiscriminately because you don't even see it indiscriminately. You don't even see it as exclusive to you. You see it as this is your world. So when I speak, I'm talking about us. So they absolutely do. They don't stay on code. Small minorities within the white community stay on code. Jewish people stay on code.
Well, let me rephrase that.
They stay on code.
Every white comedian I know that sits and talks about white folks are doing it in a majority white audience.
Yeah, because that's the majority of their audience by default.
Okay,
All
got
of
it. When black comedians
I was about
do
to say that's because black folk ain't coming. Ain't
Right.
coming to their show.
when
So
black,
the
when
point that
black
I'm making,
comedians do it,
the-
it's typically in front of a majority black audience.
Because most white people can afford a black comedian's tickets more than a black person can.
And that's fine. Again, it's still a majority. I don't have a problem with what you're doing in a majority black audience. Because, you know, for the most part, you're addressing us, and most of us is what's in the audience. But when you're on a stage like the Oscars and you taking shots at your people, and then you turn around and say something like that, it's like, wait a minute, you were minstreling already and got slapped for it. Now you ain't supposed to minstrel. I'm not understanding. That was my.
So what you're doing is you guys are limiting. You guys are limiting.
White people, I wouldn't have anything to say about it.
You guys are limiting the humanity of black people. So it's as though we don't have full range to be full humans and do anything that any. You know, Chris Rock, if he's at the Oscars and he makes a joke about a celebrity, well, that's okay. Are y'all still hearing me?
Yeah.
Did I freeze?
You broke up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
A little bit.
All right, I'm in a bad. Okay, let's just wait until I get to closer to the city. I'm in Ellenwood right now, so but yeah, you gotta let black people have the full range of humanity just like anybody else. Sure. Chris Rock is a comedian. If he's up there telling jokes about a celebrity, shouldn't matter if they're black or white. I'm sure he told jokes about white celebrities as well.
And he kills them. He kills white people. He gets on white
that's my
people
point. So
all the time in front of them.
That's my point. Chris Rock is a mainstream comedian, so he shouldn't be limited, nor should really anybody be limited to who they can and can't talk about. He has full range to talk about anybody.
My point is, if he had never said that we don't fight in front of white people, I would be right there with you. Like, it's mainstream, he just gonna cover everybody, and that is what it is. And that makes sense. But then when you try to add this race dynamic to it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. So now you want to judge what black people can do. I
want to add context to that. When he's saying we don't fight in front of white people, we stay on code. Meaning, Will, if you really got a problem with me, hey man, come slap me in the back. Don't come slap me up here.
Well, your joke wasn't in the back.
But his joke wasn't a fight. See, that's what I'm saying.
So hold on.
As a comedian, I know, but I'm saying as a comedian, comedians don't take their jokes as a fight. That's their art. A slap is a fight, no matter what, in what language, in no language, in no race, in no group. You understand violence. Violence is the one universal language outside of math that we grasp, and
Laughing
we know what it means.
Now a sport, so it could be art.
So see what I'm saying? So I understood what he was saying. We can't conflate a joke with a slap and say, well, he wouldn't have slapped in front of them if he wasn't joking in front of them. When what he does is joke, and what you ain't known for is punching people. Because yes, if Mike Tyson had been sitting there, he wouldn't have said that, because most Mike Tyson known for knocking motherfuckers out. So it would have been totally different. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, and like Marcus is saying, you can't do that to comedians. Like, you know what it is. Don't sit in the front row if you don't want the comedians to smoke you. We know that as regular people.
I don't know. It seemed like because him and Jada had already had previous beef because of the whole Oscar situation, it should have been a subject. Let me not go out here and do this. But again, it's Chris Rock. Chris Rock takes chances. So he did. And in taking a chance, he was also at the butt of other stuff happening with Will.
That had nothing
to do with him. He got the fire of it.
Yeah. He caught him on a bad day. We all know this. You never know what somebody's feeling on what day. And even in the streets, man, we know you cut the wrong person off in traffic and shoot him a bird, You don't know what's going to happen to you. That person might have just got laid off and found out as he got laid off, when he came home to tell his wife he got laid off, she laying up in the bed with the next door neighbor. That dude goes for a drive and you cut him off.
You about to get
You
shot.
don't know what you don't know what you're going to be on the receiving end of.
And you know what? Maybe Chris Rock felt safe in front of those white people to say that.
And he felt safe in front, and he felt safe in front of Will, because, like you said,
yeah,
there's certain people that he wouldn't have probably tried with them jokes. Will has been a safe person to joke about and joke around for years.
Mm-hmm. He's been the punching bag.
Will tired of y'all.
Of comedy.
You said Will tired of y'all? She's stupid.
Well, he really wasn't. He really wasn't. It wasn't until his damn wife started opening her damn mouth and telling all their business on her struggle ass Facebook Red Table Talk shit. Like, come on, man, that struggle ass show. And so, of course, to try to get views and get some ratings, she want to pull up her husband up there and fucking make him into a simp and a beta in front of everybody. Like, come on, man, that's how all this started.
There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that.
Okay. She had August Alsina on the show, and they were talking about addiction.
Struggle ass show. Why do you have your struggle ass son's friend that you was fucking? Can I say that? Well, whatever. Listen. That whole situation started with Jada being dusty as hell, like she probably is in real life, and so that's where all that started from. Will messed up when he hitched his wagon to her. He should have let her go long time ago, man. He's chasing after something that he'll never get. He'll never have. And he could have had so many
talked
other
about
women.
on the episode of his failures as a husband that led to them splitting up, which is how she got to even dating August Alsina.
His failures as a husband was that he wasn't Tupac. That was his failure as a husband. He was not Tupac. How much better can you get than box office A-list actor, 60 mega millionaire Will Smith, the actual Fresh Prince? Come on, man.
So
what failure?
Does he have a personality? Does he treat me well? See, that's the thing that kills me. You know, well, he's this and he's that. Is he an actual good person? Because even his daughter talked about on that same episode about how he had this figment of what his family should be like in his imagination, and he tried to mold them to be what he wanted them to be.
His daughters, his daughter, his son, they're all poisoned by that woman. So anything that they say, I would take with 3 grains of salt, because she raised them. That the little boy left the house when he was 15. Okay, you know, listen, celebrity kids are already weird, but when you have a Jada Pinkett Smith raising you, I don't have any confidence in your ability to have a lot of common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, this is like, I get it. You don't never know who somebody is behind closed doors, but come on, this is Will Smith. I mean, like, seriously, like, even if he did have some flaws or whatever, you telling me that that's not a good situation? Come on, man.
No,
like,
it does not always. It's not all money does not make a good situation.
Because she was married to Will Smith. She wouldn't even be the B- actor, the B- list actor that she is, the C-list actor that she is, if it weren't for her husband in the first place.
That's not true.
It's 100% true.
She put her career on hold to boost his career.
No, his career
was wait. His career was already boosted.
Their careers were going up. She lowered hers to help him go higher.
No. Wait, hold on. Wait. Pause. Look at his timeline. He laughing. Wait. I need to go look at the facts, but I'm going to say this. The Fresh Prince. Wait.
Got married.
Hold on. Wait. I want to just phrase this right. She didn't stop to boost him.
That's fair.
He already had the Fresh Prince show. I'm going to say this without Googling a damn thing. The money he made from that show, the ratings from that show, any awards from that show dwarf everything she's done in her entire career. I'm willing to bet that without even Googling it. So she didn't boost anything. She didn't boost anything. He was already going to be what he was going to be. But I will say this. She did put what she did have on the back burner to pursue marriage, but she also said, and I remember this, and she said this, and I remember this. She put all this on the back burner and then regretted it later. See, that's where a man, the conversations you're having before, you better be sure. Because if she's resentful in any way of those circumstances, it's going to come out. How it comes out, we don't know.
Better yet, don't even get with a chick that wants to be a power couple. How about that? Fuck that power couple shit, especially if you're a super powerful dude. Why the hell would you want a super powerful woman or a woman that's trying to be? That is so, ugh.
So
like, come on, man. Like,
Bay and Jay-Z don't work.
Well, see, listen, you bring up. So I don't know what goes on in the household, but I'll say this: Beyonce has that's a much nuanced situation because Beyonce has always kind of came off like a wifey type. She's never come off like the strong type. She has those strong, independent songs, but when you actually see her, like I've actually met her in person, she seems like almost like a princess. Like she almost seems like somebody that I don't know. She's very like just reserved and humble. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't come off like this like in your face type of attitude, like how you would think Jada Pinkett Smith comes off. Like as you see on her show, Beyonce could never do a show like that because she doesn't have that type of abrasive personality. So she has a very accommodating personality, even though she's a superstar. And again, I don't know how she acts behind closed doors, but that's the energy that she gives off to the public, which is very different than Jada Pinkett Smith.
All right, hold on, wait. No, so now we done segued into Red Table, Jada Pinkett Smith after Chris Rock then got slapped. So what we gotta move on to the next thing, man. I'll be trying to stay on code. What the fuck is going on with Ja Morant? What is going on with Ja Morant?
The basketball player, right?
Yes, the Ja Morant shenanigans, fake hood thug gangster culture. I just want to share a clip from the news article recently, just part of the news that lists, and this one was perfect. I'm glad I found it because it lists everything going back.
News from the sports world, and one of the NBA's hottest young stars is in hot water this morning. 23-year-old Memphis Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant has been benched by the team after video surfaced on Instagram of him appearing to be holding a gun in a nightclub.
The NBA confirmed that they are aware of a social media post involving Ja Morant and are investigating. And the Grizzlies announced that Morant would sit out last night's game against the Clippers as well as tomorrow's game. In a statement, Morant said he took full responsibility for his actions and apologized to his family, team, and fans. Morant also said that he would be taking some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress. Mike Vorkunov, national basketball business reporter for The Athletic, joins us now to talk about this. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for being here. So first off, what more do we know about what happened, and what do NBA investigations typically look like?
Well, it's been a number of incidents going back to the summer that has gotten Ja Morant in this place. There was, reportedly an incident in the summer where he punched a teenager after playing basketball at his house. There was an incident with a security guard at a mall in the Memphis area. There was an incident in January where The Athletic reported that someone from his entourage had shined a laser into the team bus for the Indiana Pacers after a game. So what happened over the weekend was just really the last straw, I think, for Morant and for the Grizzlies. And now the NBA is investigating it. And their investigations can last any number of time, any number of days or weeks. There's a lot to look into, obviously.
Stupid.
So hold on. So I think all of us have a unique, but we probably all got a very similar perspective here.
I don't know. Mine might be a little different.
It might be, but so hold on. So hold on.
Somebody got to be different.
This is so from everything I've looked into, this is a young man, 2-parent household, never struggled for nothing, grew up in the suburbs. He's now an NBA star, one of the best young stars, was ready to be this dude's image. If it wasn't being polluted, we know the NBA is a star-driven league. We know the NBA's biggest stars are relatively old right now. LeBron leading the pack, Durant, blah, blah. We know the list of them dudes are old, right? The torch is about to be passed. And here you go, you have a young man from the burbs who can ball, who just want to be so hard. I mean, he just showing, he's in the video where I saw where he was in the club, he's doing the fake gang signs, you know what I'm saying? Like he's speaking sign language when he's trying to throw gang signs. He's doing this. He's beating up kids that come to play basketball at his house, a 17-year-old. His mom called him and said she has some issues with somebody at the mall. He pulls up to check that situation. And it just seems as if this dude is trying to be a tough guy. And this is something that those of us that have grown up in areas or situations where the tough guys are literally right there and real, we don't respect that. We kind of take issue with that. And I think the panel will kind of see it like that, but I want to get everybody's take on it. I want to start with Frankie. I want to go him because I see he said stupid. So go ahead and get on in there.
It's the same thing over and over with these. It's with the same type of young niggas, man, where they are given an opportunity, and they throw it away for what? Like you want to impress the bottom of the barrel niggas? Like what type of credibility is that? It's like them niggas are sitting around waiting on you to do something. But you're throwing away your life and opportunities to impress them niggas. Like you look stupid and everybody knows that you ain't hard. You can tell when a nigga ain't really hard because he's trying too hard. Trying too hard to be hard. Like, nigga, you just retarded, man. Why retarded niggas always get the money? and they just throw it away over some dumb shit. Like, I don't understand the desire to look hood. We all grew, me, you, Marcus, we grew up.
You don't understand the desire to look hood?
No, I never had
it right now. Or are you just forgetting what it's like to be a young man? Because that's what I'm hearing from this. I'm hearing, oh, I've got the benefit of 20 plus years of experience of being grown. And so now let me lambaste this young guy as though I don't have any understanding of what it's like to be young and want to fit in.
That's not being young, that's being stupid.
Wait. Hold on. Let's dial this back a little bit. Let me dial this back a little bit. We're not talking about somebody who just wants tattoos. We're not even talking about somebody who just want to rock gold teeth. We ain't even talking about somebody who just want to rock gold chains. We're talking about somebody trying to play tough. That is significantly different. Let's not conflate them things. When you try to appear to be tough and street, bro, how many rappers in Chicago are dead? How many rappers die trying to stay relative to the street? How many rappers end up with RICO charges because they couldn't take their foot out when they was really about that life? And then how many others have we seen end up? What was that lame, colorful face? Dude, what was his name?
That's 6ix9ine, boy.
Yeah, dude. This is literally 6ix9ine on a basketball court. You want to appear. You want to appear to be this. And what is going to happen when you catch those charges? Or worst case scenario, when the street decides to test that metal, when the streets decide to see if that's who you are for real. Because we know, me, you, us three, and probably 4 on this panel know that the one thing the streets always does, if you give it enough time, They want to just come see if you really about that. And one thing is going to happen. Either you're going to try to show them that you about that, and you're going to end up defending yourself in a court of law, or you're going to get carried by 12 or 6. So you're going to be judged by 12 or carried by 6 because you had to go appear to be hood. Nigga, please. And so, Mark, we're not talking about fashion sense. We're not talking about swag. We're talking about incidents. You fought somebody. You pulled a gun on somebody. You swung on somebody. You throwing gang guns in the hood like you. Nigga, please. No, bro, you're not finna give Ja Morant a pass. No, that young man shit. Let this be Corey. Let this be Corey right now.
I mean, listen, everything that you're saying, I agree with, but you guys, listen.
That shit.
Listen, of course.
23-year-old boy.
I was about to say, we have the benefit of being able to see it clearly because we're older.
This shit at 20. I wasn't doing this at 20. No.
Maybe you wasn't. Maybe you wasn't
either. You wasn't either. You wasn't.
Well, let me think. Let me tell you something.
No, bro,
let me tell you something. At 23,
his mind over there.
let me tell you something. At 23, I had just got that job at the airport.
I know where you go.
And so you know with that job, that was my first 6-figure job. I had a drop top BMW that was new, fairly new and all like that. And I was not necessarily a thug, but I was definitely an asshole. And especially like in the club and stuff like that, I would like when the party like a rock star came on and stuff like that, man, I shake up because I normally have a bottle or something in my section, champagne bottle. I shake it up and spray everybody. Anybody who's in the area, you get sprayed. People be looking at me like they want to fight and this and that. And I'd be so fucked up that I'd be like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? But I look back on it like, all right, well, maybe I shouldn't have been spraying everybody.
You were partying like a rock star. Hold on, wait. You're partying like a rock star. What I'm saying is, this ain't that. This is a young. I do agree. There is an element of young and dumb here. I gotta. If I'm gonna give women credit for being young and dumb, I gotta get. We know what 17 to 25 is. I'm not saying that that's not part of it.
I was about to say, y'all was just saying that the brain doesn't fully develop until 25 anyway. Y'all was just saying that now.
Yeah, it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. I won't relent. What I'm saying is, it's the one thing I don't give a pass on is when you want to play tough, because the results of playing tough ain't like being a party guy. They're different results from playing tough. And hopefully somebody sits this young man down and explains to him that playing tough comes with a whole different set of rewards from it, bro. Like, bro, we all know playing tough, people are gonna come find out. So partying, it's different. It's different.
I think it's a couple of things being missed. Number one, you have this man, like you said, he grew up in the burbs. He came from a 2-parent household. He was never actually exposed to the streets, and he should be appreciative of where he is. He's a millionaire at 23, blah, 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 blah. This kid hasn't had the struggle, so he's not as appreciative of the experience he has because he's never been on the tremendously negative side of that experience. He's been built up to get to this point. So he takes it for granted. Of course he does. He doesn't feel like he's gonna lose it.
What about the idea? Let's be honest about this. There's a group of people in the United States of America of all sects, and you know what they are? They like slumming. They grew up in the burbs, they seen the hood on TV, and it just intrigues them. Women been intrigued by the hood dude, suburb dudes been intrigued by the thoughts from the hood, and then lame dudes from the burbs, they intrigued by the dudes that actually got that natural hood demeanor. They're intrigued by it. So
Kanye said it. Kanye, what was Kanye's line? He said, all the college girls want a hood dude, and all the what did he say? What did he say?
I don't remember the line, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, he was on point.
He's slumming. He's slumming a little bit. But I'm just saying the cost of slumming.
But that's the thing. He's 23. think he will experience the cost of slumming. But just like you said, you know, the streets will try you. I mean, look at what happened to Soulja Boy. The
Tupac
streets
didn't.
tried him. Now he came out busting, but the streets tried him.
How old was Tupac when he died?
25.
Yeah.
When did he decide to become a gangster?
Like,
be real.
21.
The streets eventually said, if you can listen, this is proven over and over and over. This is almost as this is like we know the sun gonna come up in the morning.
This is a 23-year-old millionaire you talking
about. He better learn. Somebody better sit him down. He might
not. I hope he does, but he might not.
Well, I mean, technically, what he did. Listen. What he did was not something that necessarily, like, if there are kids that look up to him and blah blah blah, then it's not gonna be the best thing for sure. I get that, and everything that you're saying is true. Of course, we understand that. We're grown, but I mean, what did he really do that's illegal? I mean, come on.
Well, the one thing they are hitting him with, the one illegal thing that they are hitting him with is, and we've seen this was played out in the NFL and the NBA. He took the weapon on facility grounds. In the NBA and all these leagues, if it's determined that you actually transported a weapon onto those grounds, they will absolutely get you up out of it. We saw what happened to Gilbert Arenas when he was playing around with guns in the locker room. Marcellus Wiley just spoke on his show not too long ago when he had a gun, and he said all I had to do was get caught and I'd have been out of the NFL. Not out, but it would have been one of them stripes. So this definitely is one of those things that the leagues, when you bring that on the facilities, it's one thing. Not to mention, come on, Plaxico Burress, big ass, got out of the league because he cheddar bobbed himself years ago when he had a gun in the club. Like, and he wasn't even playing with it. It just slipped down and dropped. It's like we've seen this play. You're right, Marcus. We do have the hindsight and we have the benefit of age and wisdom. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I think this young man has at least had some examples, and he's not dumb. Like he's not, to me, he's not that void.
How many grown folks were you listening to at 23? Because I know I ain't listening to none of them.
I'm the exception. Come on, I'm the exception. You know what I'm saying? So
your daddy was probably eating your tail.
I was a dad. I was a dad and a responsible adult too early. Had I not been, maybe I'd have been doing things differently.
I wasn't listening to nothing the grown folks had to say. I was my life, and I wanted to live.
I think I would have been moving different, but I would never have been trying to be a fake thug. I'm specifically saying the fake gangster thing because of the cost that just come with it. That's so critical. And it's scary as a black man to see and I don't even mean this to be about him. Any young black man or black people in general that want to go slumming, stop playing.
But that's literally the culture, man. I don't think you get it. Like, so
get it. I get it. I just realized how foolish it is.
Listen. You didn't. So I went straight to college from high school. Okay. And I went to Howard, and listen, man, that's all that there was there. All of the kids come up in upper middle class backgrounds, and they get there and they're thugs. Every last one of them. That's literally what they do, man. Like, that's kind of that's their way of rebelling. You know what I'm saying? That's their way. Listen, if what they see is when they go out, right, when they're 16, 17, 18, they go out to different places, right? And now they're in the real world. And they see that the girls that they want in high school, the fine girls, whatever, who are they with? They're with the drug dealing thug dudes, right? Well, we talked about this before. Whatever it takes to get the pussy, that's what guys are going to do. So in our culture, for whatever reason, the pretty girls like the thugs, which, you know, in a lot of cultures, you know, bad boys get attention, but it seems to be exasperated in our culture. And so, of course, what are you going to do? You're going to fashion yourself like a thug. That's it.
The white kids that go to HBCUs, they do the same thing. They transform themselves to fit that narrative. And it is not, I don't even necessarily think is that they want the violence part that comes with it.
No, they don't want the violence part. Yeah, but
right.
That's
the
my
image
message.
is
the violence is
masculine.
coming. The violence is coming. The violence is coming.
True.
The
But they
violence-
not most of the time. Not most of the time, man. Most of the time, it's a
if
phase in
everybody
life.
fake thugs,
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna jump.
No, the law of averages win. The law of averages win. The longer you play in that, and the bigger you are as a target, the likelihood that you're gonna catch one, it's exasperated. So I'm just saying, I understand. I'm not gonna. There's no excuses. I understand you're saying these are the reasons. The reasons are that people gravitate to the culture. I get that, but man, we will not be having this conversation the same way if an end comes and it's that kind of end. We won't be having this conversation the same way.
Slow singing and flower bringing.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, again, the gangster culture is hyper masculine, and for a lot of these young men, they're trying to figure out who they are as men, so they'll gravitate to these hyper masculine things.
Mhm.
I mean, even on the opposite side in the white culture, it may not necessarily be gangster, but it may be the rock and roll bad boy. The bad boy is hyper masculine, so a lot of guys look towards that.
The beer chugging, the beer chugging tough guy. You know what I'm saying? That's into
the athlete.
Yeah, the athlete. That the jock.
Well, the kind of
jock.
Right, the frat guy, the Chad as they call him.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So the white culture, they have a name for it, the Chad, and so I get it. I ain't gonna lambast the guy because, like I say, he's young. We have the benefit of
lambasting all y'all that want to get to the line to play the gangster part. I'm lambasting that because the results, we keep seeing it play out, and it's fatal, man. It's we keep seeing it play out. Like it's not even debatable. It plays out pretty bad for a lot of people. Now, on the flip side, I'm gonna close this on this. 95% or more of the black athletes in this country that are men are not doing this. True. 95% of them are not. So we're gonna be fair. We're gonna get on him for being a fool, but I'm going to give credit for all the ones that are not. LeBron has not been. KD has not been. Kyrie has not been. Kyrie just got booted for being total opposite of this being thought. So many. We know Dwayne Wade ain't. There's a whole bunch that ain't got nothing to do with that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. You know what I'm saying? we know these ladies. We know. Anyway,
So real quick. Okay, go ahead. No, you close it out. My bad.
All right. So, one of the things I wanted to get into. So we had a little brief. This is for our member who ain't here tonight, Desi. Desi ain't here, but
that's what I was about to say. I was waiting to come on this show so I could ask her how her date went.
I know.
I wanted to know how her date went, and I wanted to talk about the fact that she declined to go out on a date with the guy that didn't call her first and all like that. Oh man, I was about to give it to her.
Oh no! Give it to us. Give it to us because I want you to start it off. So let me. I'm gonna get Marcus's opinion first, but I want to frame it. So one of the things our girl Desi was talking about is she declined a date with one guy. She had other suitors. She went out with another suitor, declined a date with another guy because another guy wasn't trying to have that phone conversation, wasn't putting in that work to get to know her prior to the first date. We all have our opinions on it. Marcus is going against the grain. Is going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? So I want him to give us his take. We just want his take because he's been waiting. This been a week. This been brewing for a week now.
So here's the thing, right? Desi, if you're watching, let me explain something. I don't care how pretty you are, whatever you think your body is, which I've never seen in person. We know how social media could be, right? Here's the thing. You are 35 years old. I don't care what you think. You at the wall, baby girl. You are at that wall. That wall. So let me tell you something. You should not be turning down any suitors. Okay, if you deem the guy good enough to go out on a date with, and he didn't call you first, guess what that might mean? He might be busy. Imagine that. He might be busy. He might be busy. He might want to actually take the time that he blocked away when he set a date with you, take that time to get to know you. And if he's the one that's paying for the date, then what the hell loss is it to you? He just doesn't want to lose a random 30 minutes out of his day or whatever it is, because if he's a guy like me, who, again, I have 2 jobs now, guess what? This job that I picked up last month, it is kicking my ass. I ain't even gonna lie. Kicking my ass. I haven't posted my YouTube channel in 5 days, which I have never had a time period where I haven't posted in 5 days. So I'm super busy. And so, even right now, I'm coming home from the gym. I had to stop it at my kid's house, help her with some homework real quick. And then, I'm just now getting home. Okay. And so I'm busy, or I'm just emotionally drained, mentally drained. It just don't feel like talking. Like the downtime I have to recuperate. So, hey, listen, if this was some dude that, is middle class like a motherfucker, and what I'm saying, he just has his job and he goes home, he's got plenty of time, fine, I get it. But if it's a guy like me that is super busy, that's like you just missed out on a blessing by canceling a date with a busy guy, by going on a date with a guy that's got all this time to talk to you and all this stuff. What do you think that time to? He's got time. What do you think he's doing? Like, that's just backwards, man. Like, if you're looking for a guy that's a high earning, high producing, ambitious guy, the likelihood is he's going to be busy at this age.
So you're too busy for a conversation, but not too busy that you can't have a date. Why not just
because a date is scheduled.
When you would schedule the date?
Nah, because I'm doing stuff during the day. So, if my time needs to be efficient. Huh?
So, okay. So you say, okay, I'm going to take you on a date at 8:30, right? Instead of scheduling a date at 8:30, schedule a conversation at 8:30. Why is that hard?
Because here's the thing. I have limited time. So with the time that I have, let's establish a rapport in person. If there is a rapport to be established, because I'd rather spend the money I have versus the time, which I don't. So I don't have time to sit here. Oh, we got this great rapport over the phone. This is great. And then mess around in person and it ain't the same rapport. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I get it. But I mean, and then let's also consider you're not 23 years old. You don't have this endless line of options that you think you have. You're 35. You're pretty much at the wall, but most 35-year-olds don't realize it until they're like 37. So it takes them a couple years to realize, like, oh shit, I'm at the wall. I'm not getting the same level of attention or from the same type of guys or attention to actually be married and stuff like that. I'm not getting that attention anymore. And so, hey, listen, you play the game how you want to play it, but in my opinion, you've got to go after, if you deem the guy good enough to accept the date, then go on a date with both guys. One guy didn't talk, the other guy did talk. Schedule a date with one, go on a date with the other, and see which one is better.
So I'll give you an antithesis of this. I'm a busy woman. I'm the head of my company. I also teach. I travel quite a bit. I don't want to go get dressed and sit and have dinner with somebody I find boring. On a phone conversation, boring. If I find them boring. On a phone conversation, I mean, sometimes you can get rapport textually, but then you hear someone's voice and it's a totally different energy. And 9 times out of 10, that energy is felt, and that energy will end up leading to a much longer conversation than you initially anticipated. So that makes the date even more anticipatory. But if I don't
I agree, but
let me finish.
So here's the thing.
I don't get any of that energy first, I'm not gonna waste the time on the date because I'm a busy woman. I could be over here in San Francisco talking to an investor for coffee, but now I'm having coffee with this dude that's boring me to damn death. Sir, I could be having a drink in the Sky Club right now. But I
Well,
took this time
and
out to meet you in person.
that's great.
So for
That's
me,
great. If
energy,
you again, if you're
for me,
23,
energy is
that's
important.
great.
And if you can't vibe that energy over the phone, you're likely not going to have it in person either. The date, the men that have lasted the longest with me, phone conversations is how it started. Every single one of them. Even my ex-husband. He would be in his office. We may talk for 10, 15 minutes about my stepson when he was a baby, learning how to walk, or he's learning how to eat. It wouldn't even be anything about us. It would just be conversation on who he is as a person, what he's managing in his life. And it didn't always have to be long. Sometimes other guys I've dated, we'd be on the phone 3-4 hours easily while they're working in the middle of the day. Or at night when they're driving home from work, call me up just to have a quick conversation. Those were the relationships where by the time I got to a date, it was on and popping, sir. Like the vibe was there. It was established. Every time I've done the opposite, boring first date, sir, I'm about to go to the bathroom, pay my tab, and go home.
Frank, jump in there real quick. I want to get the other brother's take on this. Frank, jump in there real quick.
You already know where I stand at. I'm sure all y'all know where I stand at by now. And I was talking to my wife about this when Disney had brought it up to us, and I told you guys how me and my wife met. We met on Facebook. I made a comment on one of her posts, and I asked her a question, and it was some people that she didn't want to offend by answering the question on the post. So she said, I answered her in the inbox. We typed it up in the inbox for a little while, and I asked for her number. And when we talked for the first time on the phone, we talked for hours. We talked for 3 days straight. Made contact April 2nd, 2013. We met in person April 5th, 2013. I drove an hour to go and sit down with her because I enjoyed the conversation that we was having over the span of 3 days. These were hour-long conversations. Like we was talking until the next day. To the point where I was like, I got to go to bed because I got to get up and go to work. So I asked my wife. I told her. I said, I just want her to confirm. I said, I know I wasn't the only person in your inbox that day. My wife, before her page was shut down, she was very popular on Facebook. She had, the max amount of friends you can have, and she had like 75,000 followers. And all she did was post jokes and memes or whatever. But she had people after her, she had niggas running after her. My wife is a beautiful woman. And I ain't saying that just because she's my wife. And I'm saying that because she is my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to touch that.
How old was your wife?
She was 30 at the time.
Okay. That's not at the wall. And your wife has an exotic look. She has an exotic look, which that's gonna kind of help things out a little bit as well. So and so here's the thing. I hear everything that y'all are saying, but we're talking about 35-year-old woman out here in the dating market. All I'm saying is that take both dates. Why is that not a better strategy? I don't get that.
Because
take both
I'm talking about the benefits of talking versus texting.
Let me spend it with somebody I actually want to vibe with, not this person that.
That's the problem. You're looking for a vibe instead of a husband.
Just because he offered me a date. That's a waste.
You gotta have a vibe to get to the point of even dating somebody, let alone being married to them. So it's like
listen. Yes, but I'm saying, listen. If you're 35 years old, let me turn this way. If you're 35 years old,
you've got to adjust your strategy. You don't have forever at this point. You're literally in geriatric pregnancy. You're in geriatric pregnancy right now. If she were to meet a guy today and have a kid, she'd have that kid at the age of 36. Okay? So, and we're talking about a first date. So she doesn't have the time that y'all are talking about to just,
that's the point.
Just be, huh?
She doesn't have the time. So why waste it on somebody you already ain't interested in?
No.
So I see. No. What he's saying is, I get where Mark.
I get what he's saying, but he's saying take all the dates anyway. Yeah. But if it ain't gonna work from the very beginning because this person isn't meeting a need I have, I'm not gonna date them at all.
That's a ridiculous need.
Hold on, wait. All right, so let me bring this. Let me kind of. All right, so I want to share something, and I'll give my thoughts on it because my thoughts go somewhere. But I want to share something. If I can get it on the screen.
You had it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I can get it on the screen. I'm going to share this right here. This says set plans over the phone or video phone call, and I'm going to play what this man has to say.
Setting plans via text is much harder than setting plans via phone call because it's a much less personal form of communication. And also, maybe even more importantly, plans made only via text when you've never met the person are much more likely to flake than plans made via a phone or a FaceTime call. In my experience doing online dating, when I do a phone call or a FaceTime, the girl almost always shows up, basically never flakes. And if she does flake, they reschedule. It's not like a real flake. They actually do come out eventually. And when they show up, they're actually excited to see you. And they have much more of an idea this is gonna go really well. They're much more down for kissing on the first date and even things beyond kissing on the first date.
Boom! Stop right there, God damn it! I don't need to hear no more. I'm gonna so this is where I'm gonna flame this to oblivion. This is where we flame this to oblivion. What Marcus says from a practical standpoint, it has a bit of practicality to it. You playing the odds game,
numbers game that doesn't work.
And I don't necessarily hate that strategy, but when anybody, man or woman, is within time constraints, you can't see all the possible options. And the one thing that man said, and this isn't somebody, I will share his YouTube channel with anybody. What he does for a living is coaches men in dating on and offline how to get to the bottom line. And like you just said, anything to get to the pussy, he's getting men successful on and offline. And I'm going to say this for a fact. I have never had a failure, never had a bad dating experience when I've had some sort of dialogue over the phone prior to. The only two failures I've ever had have been when I did not have a dialogue over the phone, and I'll name those two instances. I text and I'm gonna meet up with Shawty. We change messages, and I say, "What date you want to do this?" and da. And she texts me and texts her. We text. Cool. We're gonna meet Thursday, happy hour at this spot. Bet. No phone call. I get there. She's got her laptop sitting there on the table. So what you satellite working? Cool, no problem. I sit down, we start chalking it up. We getting to know each other. I mention what I do for a living. She mentions what she do. We talk about scheduling. We talk about a little bit of prior relationship, and then the topic of children comes up. And she says, "Oh, I don't date men with children." Now,
saved your money.
A phone call. I didn't spend much money. I took my drink and I was out. A phone conversation, you get more information out. That's number one, and that's a fact. Because a lot of information just doesn't get traded over text. Two, it is no doubt that you get a rapport established, and that woman is excited because if you got the gift of gab, and you, Marcus, you got the gift of that. And another thing with you, Marcus, you're being unfair because you are one of these guys that can show up to a date cold and do what the average man can't do because you have an above average gift of gab. You have a way above average gift of gab. So you can't say that men not going to walk in and win the moment the way you would normally win the moment. Most men nowadays, the cold approach, a cold moment, they not winning that. These dudes need every tool available to them these days, which is a FaceTime, phone call, text message, DM, email,
I get
everything.
it,
They need
Messenger.
y'all are
pigeons.
conflating the argument.
Wait.
Y'all are
No.
conflating the argument.
Wait, no, I'm gonna bring it around. I'm gonna bring it around.
You want to stick on
The
the
way-
wall, and
No,
that's just
I'm
not
gonna bring it
all
around.
of it.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna bring it around. So as this relates to the wall and time constraints, if you already know that this dude ain't even putting in the phone conversation on the way home from work, got 15 minutes to just say, hey, I just wanted to hear your voice and get a quick chat with you before we got this date lined up this weekend. You can't do that. What is the point? Like, I'm sorry. If it was any woman in any age and any stage, I would say don't even waste your time, because we're not talking about long 4-hour phone conversations, hour conversations, 30-minute conversations. I'm talking about a quick chat to build the slightest of a rapport. And you if men can't do that, they need coaching. We cannot keep talking about everything women need to do when there's an influx of men failing so bad that they're going out of the countries paying for sex for people that are below the poverty line across the planet. We can't continue to only say that women need to develop skills and take shortcuts when dudes are failing. Like, these dudes are failing at an astronomical rate. Dudes are not getting pussy, as you like to say, like they used to, because they ain't even got the skills or ability. They're too lazy, and everybody ain't that damn busy. Marcus, you that busy. Everybody ain't that damn busy. Most men ain't that busy. 95% of men ain't that busy.
Playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, so we're not going to compare this to the 5%. We're not going to compare this to the 5% of men that are actually that busy. 95% of men are not that busy. So I'm going to err on the side of probability and say, of the 95% of men out here that are probably trying to interact with Desi, that ain't taking a 15
Would
minute
you consider Desi in the top 10% as far as looks?
I don't know. I haven't met her. I don't know. I can't judge that, and I definitely don't judge much.
But okay,
I would say this.
Let's not stick on the woman in this case, because this isn't just.
We haven't been. We've been sticking.
No,
the whole conversation started with me getting on Desi, and then Frank and Manuel, and you turned it into the man's fault because he didn't call and blah blah blah.
No. Let me finish what I'm trying to say. This isn't a Desi problem. This is a generational dating problem that has been exacerbated by social media.
It is a generational dating problem.
People think that just because they see your timeline, they know who you are. So they want to skip the getting to know you piece and jump right to the date.
Mm-hmm. You can't do that.
100%.
It's not working.
It's not. 100% of the dudes that I ended up in long-term relationships with got it on the first night, because they built that rapport ahead of time to the point where it felt like we were already dating.
I'm telling you, I would say it's on both people, because women have to avail themselves.
True.
Because y'all are the target. And men, we got to be the hunters that we are. We can't be on this bitch shit. I just made a reel just scorching dudes. Like, y'all cannot be this lame and lazy and tired. You go get it. You don't sit back, well, she at the wall. So since she at the wall, she better take whatever I can get. Hell no.
Well, I got a 6-figure job. I'm 6 feet tall. I got my own. That makes me a good catch. Sir, you have no personality.
On paper, you're a good catch. Men can't use
you look
on
good
paper
on a resume, but when you get the job, you can't do the work. And that's where all of this comes in. A lot of guys that, like for me, I don't know about any other women, but a guy that can make me laugh, you get the job.
And Marcus knows this stuff. Listen, Marcus knows this. I see what he's saying.
It works for him, but
y'all are reframing. I'm letting y'all go on and on.
We need to marry these two ideas. We need to somehow marry these ideas. We can't say that just because a woman's at a certain age, that no matter who's shooting their shot, take the date. No, that's bullshit, because that in and of itself is a waste of time. Yeah, that in and of itself is a waste of time. However, we can't. But if
you already agreed to the date, that means that guy was someone.
What did that guy just say? Wait. What did that guy just say? The guy who I just played. He said the dates that are made over the phone are least likely to flake. This man is getting men's success. And when he gets men's success, guess who gets success by default? Women get success. It's like both people got to be successful in this in order for it to work. We can't just tell one group they got to do it, and other group we can't tell men to be protectors and providers and women not to be submissive and supportive. They got to both do it. We can't say women, y'all need to be submissive and supportive to whatever, and well, don't worry about what the man is. Just play the numbers game because you're up against the wall. No, it doesn't work like that.
The numbers game never works. The numbers game works when you're trying to just get pussy. To fuck. That's when the numbers game works.
It does.
But when you're trying to actually get towards marriage, you got less time to spend on people who can't even do the basics. If you can't do the basics of a phone call for a first date, what else are you going to fail at in an actual relationship?
I'm gonna flip it here. I watch, and I can't wait till season 3 of Indian Matchmaker comes out because that's going to be one of my biggest hits. Go look at that show. Go look at that show and see what they do. Do you see how thorough that vetting process is before they can even go on a first date? Before those couples can even,
parents, their cousins, FBI background checks.
What? I thought we did some work. You got to show up, meet the family, meet everybody in front of this woman, meet her in-laws, meet her brothers. You go through a whole vetting process before you get to go sit down with this woman and share some tea. I'll be damned if you tell me we can't make phone calls over here in the West. I ain't hearing it. No, I don't care what. And these are people that are at the wall too. Women that are in their 30s getting hitched, and men that are up there slightly older than them. They still make them do the work. So people got to do the work.
And men have walls too, because y'all get to that point where y'all be.
I ain't got no wall.
Somebody that can take care of y'all.
Wait. I don't have no walls. There's no walls. There's no walls. No. There's no walls.
I mean, I hear you, Sheffy, but honestly, you're looking at. Listen, I hear what you're saying, but here's the truth: you're on a panel with 3 guys who likely have no problem attracting 20-somethings. Okay, and like if we
20-somethings. I don't, and I'm 40. You forget I work in a college campus.
Wait. Attracting. When we say attracting
to fuck is not attracting for marriage.
No,
so
I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
The ones that want to fuck it ain't like they come talk to me. Either way, that part, the whole wall thing in this conversation doesn't really matter. It's I
hear what he's saying about the wall. See, Marcus, I get what he ultimately wants. He wants results.
Don't we all?
Yeah, so I get my man, because I'm in that frame of mind. I want results, and he's saying just take the date and see what happens.
When people get mired into all these details and everything else, it's like you really trick yourself out of a situation, because the truth is, like I say, you really don't know why or what the circumstances of or why he didn't call. And again, if you had another 10 years to be out here day in and everything else before you got to the point that she's at now, great. If that's the strategy that you want to employ, I get it 100%. Make a man earn it and show his worth and everything else. But man, listen, if you've been out here, let me explain something to y'all. Frank, if you saw a $100 bill laying on the street, what would you do?
I pick it up.
Now, if you step back and you observe, you saw that $100 bill on the street, and you saw people come, they pick it up, they look at it, and they put it back down on the floor. And another person comes, they look at it, and they put it back down on the ground. What are you gonna think about that $100 bill?
It's fake.
It ain't worth $100 goddamn dollars. I tell you that much. So again, if you got a 35-year-old, seemingly beautiful woman, and that, you know what I'm saying, doesn't have any kids and all this stuff, and you're unmarried and still out here trying to figure all that stuff out.
I do see
you're that $100 bill.
I do see what you're saying. I do see that there is that frame of thought that exists in the dating
quality
world.
Over quantity, man.
Where but what I'm saying is we far too often grill women for not having a vetting process and no filters and not seeing red flags. There has to be some vetting process and filters and a way you see red flags. We cannot allow every man that says, hey, I'm interested in you, let's go on a date, and you go on the date. Like, no, you just look good. And based on how you look, yeah, a date is a good idea. But once you start to realize,
social media has made dating lazy, and that's on both. That's on the women and the men.
I'm telling you,
women have gotten this big head that they're way more pretty than they are, and that they have way more options than they do. And then the men don't actually try at all. And it's not even that, you got to do the whole 90-day thing, which I think is some BS. Girl, if you want the dick, sit on it. But it's more like, just a basic phone call for 10 minutes so I can hear your voice. Because what if your voice doesn't match your face? I'm probably going to be turned off, and then I'm going to laugh the whole date. And you're going to be like, what's so funny? And I'm laughing because your voice higher than mine, but you 6'7", 350. Things like that can create a situation that could have been avoided. No different than certain information you find out about somebody. Well, maybe he works doing something that you don't necessarily like, and you can't see that on social media, but a phone conversation gets that rapport.
I don't know if you.
My clients won't even blindly sign up with me, and they can see my whole portfolio out there in the internet. No, they want to have a conversation to meet the CEO of this company, the Black woman who they're entrusting their business to. So why isn't this something that's viable in relationships? My client may only be my client 6 months, but I'm about to try to spend 20 years with this person, and you can't have a phone call with me for 10 minutes?
I don't want to belabor it. I don't want to belabor it because we got another topic coming up. But I think we can marry these ideas. Go ahead. I think we can marry these ideas. But go ahead, Frank.
What it look like to me is niggas these days are not interested in what women want. They think that
I'm kind of with Marcus on that a little bit.
They think that you're lucky that I am offering you a date, especially when we're talking about the ball thing. But anyway, thing is like niggas like that, they're the type to try to shove it in without warming it up. You know what I'm saying? They're the type to try to shove it in without warming it up.
No foreplay whatsoever.
They just dry.
They
just dry.
Then
it'd be like, dry. It's bad.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's just not true. That's just not true, man. Like again,
that was a very fair analogy. That was a very fair analogy.
I can't speak for everybody, okay? But I'm a very busy guy. I have different mental zones that I'm in throughout the day, and I can't be just mixing up my zones and everything else. Like
Mark, so we gotta go anecdotally here, because you love to use that anecdotal shit. You are an outlier from what we're speaking about. Bro, I'm telling you now. I know the work. I know the work, bro. When you broke down your routine, remember when me and you had a conversation about your routine and what you like as far as your workout, the hours that you spend on your channel, and then you were talking to me about the job you was working back then, and then you said you was gonna drop, and I thought then, I said he might be borderline crazy because he's also a dad too. Don't know when he's sleeping. I thought to myself, but I understand the grind. So you don't have that kind of time, but the average dude, or even most guys have a little bit of time to do. Because I will tell y'all exactly what I used to do. And I'm already married now, so it doesn't matter. Every single phone call that I was making, every single time it was time for me to meet somebody else, I was probably on a date to go see somebody else when I made that phone call to put in work for the next date. Probably every single time. It's too late now, but I was probably riding. Hey, what you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm going to just go grab me a bite to eat and something right there. I just want to get to know you. I'm on the way to the next date, making a phone call to the next date.
The shit was over.
Because I'm in the mood. I'm feeling good. I'm like, shit, I'm going to meet this shawty. Let me call this shawty up and just see what she's talking about.
Gotta warm up the swag a little bit.
Yeah. Don't judge me, y'all. Y'all just let me rest. Anyway, so I got another one though. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to know, in regards to dating relationship dynamics, are people nowadays too fearful of being played? And I want to frame this one way. I'm gonna let Marcus lead this one off because I want to hear him, because Kevin Samuel said something about fear, scarcity, and lack. He's one of people that have said it. A lot of people said it, but there's this fear out there of being played. And I'm wondering how much of that plays into the dating and relationship dynamics as we see them right now and what the problem is with that. So speak on that, Mark, just real quick. The fear of being played.
Yeah, I mean, it has been exacerbated by social media and the internet. So, on both sides, right? So of course, women always had a healthy fear of that, but men nowadays, now that we get to see who women really are type deal, and we get to see, kind of exactly who they really go after, who they, you get to see kind of, the different prices that women charge men, right? Whereas this guy, he ain't got to do shit, you know what I'm saying? And he could be boom, you know what I'm saying? And then this guy's got to go on 3 dates, bring flowers, ask you about your day, all this other stuff before he could even, sniff it, you know what I'm saying? And so, it has definitely made guys be fearful of, overpaying. And when you have a show like The Godfathers, where women are coming up in real time, average ass women, and coming up and woman after woman after woman is having all these high demands, all these high expectations for what they want out of a man. And then you look at what they're doing. It's like, no, that's not worth it at all. So yes, a healthy fear of overpaying has caused just men to be like, all right, well, that's why you don't see dates anymore. That's why you don't see that. It's like, nah, you come over Netflix and chill. And then if we smash and if we like each other, then I'll take you out on a date.
God, I'm actually going to, I don't know whether to cheer, clap, or laugh.
I agree.
But there's so much, there's so much stuff into that that's so accurate and sad at the same damn time. Go ahead and give me a little bit on that one, Frank. Go ahead and give me a little bit on that. This fear of being played that's out here. Give me your thoughts on it.
I think for majority of people, it's a false fear because they look at the few horror stories that's been publicized on social media, and they think that they're protecting themselves from that situation when they don't even amount up to that situation. You know what I'm saying? So I give you an example.
Explain that. Hold on, explain that. Yeah. Go ahead. Explain that.
Preach.
They don't even amount to that situation. Explain that.
Man, all thing women want nigga with money. Man, you barely got no money for yourself. You don't take care of your kids. Like it's like those type niggas that barely has it are the ones complaining about or overemphasize protecting it. A nigga that got it, he, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I ain't saying all of them, but I would imagine if you are well off, if you can set up auto bill pay.
Look who trying not to smile over here in the corner. Look at Big Money. Big Money in the corner. He was trying.
I'm for it.
Auto bill pay is baby.
I'm for it. I'm for it. I don't know. I'm for it.
Okay. Okay.
So if a woman do skate by with $40 or $100, he ain't finna be counting it like she just wanted me for my money. It's like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the average guy, but the average guy guys are the ones that doing the most complaining. They're the most fearful. Like, Nick, that's not gonna happen to you. You don't got enough for it to happen to you.
So
as far as women, Hell, you know what? I can't even speak
So
on women.
Sam, I'm
I'll
gonna
speak on
interject
women
and
just
say,
fine.
I'm gonna interject and say, I get it, but you would probably feel different if your wife decided to divorce your ass. You would probably feel different. You probably be feeling like how some of these guys feel, like, damn, like, all right, you ain't gotta have that much money for somebody to take the little much money that you ain't got and make your life a living hell. You know what I'm saying? And so that happens. I see that happen all the time, man. These guys get divorced, they back at their mama's house, you know what I'm saying? And they got bad credit, like they can't afford nothing. Sup is eating their check up. I'm talking about check ain't no check. And so I hear you, man, but you know, it happens to the broke guys too.
That is I'm gonna bring that around and let you jump in, Jesse. Well, I think what both of y'all are saying is true. Y'all both make valid points. There are guys that are fearful of the idea of somebody taking them for something that they don't got. But then there are guys who invested all they had into something, and it's either threatened that they're going to lose it or they lose that little bit, and they go forward so fearful that it'll happen again. They say, I'm not investing again. It's no different if you play the stock market with $40 or $100 and this person lost $200,000. A loss is a loss in somebody's mind, and sometimes they fear that loss no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like I try not to judge that too harshly, but I see what Frank is saying is valid. That dude, ain't nobody trying to come get your bag, but the dudes that lose a little bit of a bag, they like, man, like they feel it. They feel it.
Well, because your average woman, you know, for the way the dating market is nowadays, okay, the average woman and what used to be considered to be normal things that you would do for a woman, all that stuff has become more expensive now. So if you're an average earning guy, yeah, you that's exactly what you're talking about, because like, nah, I'm not finna sit here and spend this money on you. Like, no, not at all.
Go ahead.
I will speak as the minority in this situation, not just being the woman, but being a different type of woman. When my husband and I got divorced, he kept the house. He got the car. He also has equity in my company, so that when my company sells for millions of dollars, he also becomes a millionaire, because his time and effort while we were married helped me build that company. So when we decided to divorce, I pay him child support, $856 a month. So granted, again,
how many kids?
What you say?
How many kids?
1. I'm an above average earner. I'm a different type of woman in this case. So I have never approached marriage or any of that in the same vein as some women thinking it as a come up and all of these things. No, we're teammates. And I knew that when we divorced, I did not want him to be less off than when we got together. I'm not less off than when we got together. So there's no way I would leave him destitute, because he's still the father of my child. But that's just how I roll.
Right there.
Yeah, but that's a complete aberration, because 75% of black women make under $50,000. Only 9% of black women make over $75,000. So you know, I get it, but we're talking about
I'm not that type of woman. I'm talking about my experiences.
But I'm
talking about your average woman.
But let me hold on, wait, pause. Let me also just tap into this part of it, because this ties into what I kind of want to get at, this fear, right? Let's be very clear on what happens, and I've ran these numbers and posted them to Facebook several times. Splitting of a household where there's 2 incomes coming in is going to hurt most households, period. Doesn't matter who's there might be one paying child support, there might be one that keeps the house, it's going to hurt no matter what. So, but in most cases, what we tend to find out when you dig deep is that women are not black women. I don't know about others, but I know enough of these to know they're not trying to really drive it in. A lot of black women have one simple request when they're divorced: dust settles. Make sure these kids is good. A lot of them have that only thing in mind. However, like Marcus said, it can still hurt because you put so much into it. But I don't want to belabor the point. I want Sheffy to finish making her point.
And now when it comes to the being played piece, this is a very important piece because throughout, my husband and I were together on and off for 19 years. And in our marriage, there were absolutely periods of time where I felt played. However, I had to think about something that happened when we first started dating. The guy I dated before my husband was very abusive to me. So I was used to fighting. My husband wasn't that kind of guy. He's tall, huge dude. But his fussing voice was just as calm and collected. And he would just look at me like, you know, and here I am, all amped up, ready to fight. But after a couple of times of that, he made me feel bad for bringing that baggage into that relationship. I brought all of that anger and resentment into a new relationship that had nothing to do with that. And we had one argument. I ended up denting his car. And when he still talked to me with the complete and utter calmness, he just said, I'm upset with you. I don't want to talk to you right now. I will call you when I'm ready to speak. That man didn't speak to me for a month and a half. But it humbled me so bad because I'm like, here I am acting an ass. And I dented this man's car. I've done damage to his property. He didn't try even attempt to hit me at all. But the other guy, I just say hello and I got a fist in my eye. So at that point, I made a conscious effort to never bring baggage from one relationship into another.
So that fear of that last relationship, that fear is what carrying forward. Damn, I mean.
And that's what people are doing because they're like, well, this certain response happened because of this in the past, and I'm just going to hold my heart. And I know sometimes I feel that way too. It's like, okay, the effort that it puts in for me to love is different because I love hard. And I'm going to try my best to make it work. I'm not the woman that you need to wine and dine and all of that. Just show up and spend time with me. Watch a movie with me. Be safety for me. And I'll pay your bill, sir. Don't matter. It's just money. I can't take it with me. And I got plenty life insurance, so my kids are straight. But I never want anybody I go deal with to feel like they're paying for something someone else did. Don't hold me accountable for insecurities I didn't cause. I don't want a man to do that to me, but I'm not going to do that to another man. So while me here as I am right now, I'm hurting over the failure of a relationship. I'm not going to walk into another relationship until I'm ready. I'm not going to go in and say, well, I'm going to hold my heart because people will play you. Yes, they will. But if you stick to the gumption of, I don't treat people how they treat me, I treat people based on who I am, none of that becomes a factor because you just remain in your footsteps and you don't base your footsteps on how other people treat you because people are going to treat you how they want to treat you no matter what you do. I just remain the person I am. I let the energy gravitate to me and go from there. I'm not going to take the negative energy from a past relationship into a new one. It's not fair.
Man, I appreciate all of that because when I got back into the dating world, from when I'm talking about when I was like a full formed, I'm out here bachelor, right? No strings. I always noticed even prior, we can go back to high school. We can go back as far as I can remember before. There was always this, I don't want to be a fool that people have generally. You know, girls in high school, man, I had somebody pull up. I had Rashina. If you remember Rashina, I had Rashina and another girl pull up on me at my dad's house while I'm putting speakers in the back of the car. And they both pulled up and jumped out the car at the same time. And old girl thought she was doing something. The girl that brought Rashina by didn't tell Rashina, didn't tell her we was going by there. She just said, hey, girl, we finna go see one of our friends. And she was like, all right, bet. Pulled up on me. And I'm in the back. I'm putting wires in the back. And the old girl sit there. So how y'all know each other? Rashina looking at me. Too. Rashina looking at her. Yeah. Rashina looking at me. I'm looking at her. I'm like, Me and Rashida used to date. What's the problem? And old girl sitting there like, so y'all ain't still talking? Who's like, no.
What they got to do with you anyway?
So what's the problem? I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting in these speakers. This dude right here pull up, and he's like, what's going on, man? I said, I guess she thought she was introducing me to somebody in a situation. She had so much fear as a teenager that somebody had to be running game that she made herself look like a damn fool. And so what that ultimately does out here in these streets is when you have this fear that you carry along with you and you project it, people back up from you. It's almost as bad as desperation. People start seeing that and they back up. Or the other end of it, the scary part is there's women that got this fear. Wait, there you go. You give dudes the blueprint. Because I'm telling you now, if a woman never told me that, oh my God, he cheated, and oh my God, he cheated, and oh my God, he cheated, I said, well, oh my God, I'm going to show you what time it is for real. Like, you giving the blueprint. You showing me what you tolerate. Like, I'm not going to let up. You just showed me you're a fool. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and that was a different time in my life. I'm just saying that this fierce and of being played is working against most people, whereas just have your filters, just have your vetting process, and let that do the work. Fear ain't working for nobody.
I mean,
unless you're in a fight. Unless you're in a fight.
So we see it in pop culture right now with Young Miami. I don't know if you saw when she said that she's single and that she basically doesn't ever want to get married. And of course, we know that, she was dealing with P. Diddy. And he was basically having his way, having his way with her, peeing on her, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, I get it, right? It's like, yeah, what would you say to Young Miami? Like, don't operate in fear? Well,
I'd exactly say that, because this is no different than what you just said about the wall. You said when you reach the wall, you should be taking any opportunities to come to you. The same thing when you're operating in fear. When you're operating in fear, you miss opportunities. It's no different than the person who has a job. Well, my job pays me enough to do what I need. And if I take this other job, I don't know. The unknown is always scary, but typically the unknown is when we get the best version of what we're looking for. You have to take chances. You have to take risks. So I would tell them, at the end of the day, if you're going to get played, you're going to get played. It might happen. It might not. But if you're operating in fear, you're going to miss the person who probably was the one that was for you.
Now, hold on. There's one caveat I want to throw in here for the men and this culture we've seen change and men have shifted. The one element of this that I can understand that men don't want to play with is this fear that a lot of men have of getting blasted and put on blast, because we've seen nowadays in this culture of clickbait, social media, quick views, I'm trying to get likes and bro, there are dudes being put on blast for the simplest of things. They ain't did much of nothing other than said, hey, good morning, beautiful, and they getting laughed at, memed, and joke about. That's one of those things that's the icing on the cake, I think, because let me tell you, in a man's nature, in all of history and in all of our evolution, the last thing a man wants to be is the laughing stock amongst his peers and amongst a group and amongst society. So that fear is very palpable, and I think that's one that we got to do better at. I mean,
that's a vetting process problem, though. I mean, like the guys that end up messaging me on social media, they'll say things like, oh, you really are this person. Like, I thought this was just a social media persona. I'm like, no, I just sit around and crack jokes and like say stuff. And
you never put nobody on blast? You never screenshot blasted? Okay.
I have screenshot people and warned them like, hey, at one point they
crossed some lines. They crossed some lines.
Right. I had a period of time where I had a whole bunch of guys sending me dick pics. And I put one message on my thing, like, y'all keep sending me these pics.
Okay.
I'm going to make them public.
Yeah, I'm talking about the regular decent
No,
guys. that
I've
are
never done
literally-
anything
Okay,
like that.
okay.
I don't even shit because I don't do social media for likes. If anything, it's like my little journal of jokes. And if I'm going through something, I may say something or I may share something inspirational. So when people actually meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're actually this cool," like in person. Like, yeah, like I don't sit around and check how many people smile versus.
So
how
what
many
would you say to
people
the
do a
women?
heart.
So what would you say to the women that are doing exactly what I'm saying? The ones that are screenshotting the shit out of dudes just for saying "Good morning, beautiful." And I'm not talking about the dude that's talking to
Those are the
themselves
women
for
that
weeks
deserve
on
what
end.
they get. And I'm just being honest. You put out the energy that you are deemed to receive. I have not had necessarily all my relationships work out, and most people have some failures under their belt. I've never had one where we walked away hating each other because I never operated in that energy. I never started with that energy, never ended with it either. Most of the guys, I'm actually friends with some of them, and others, they've moved on or whatever, but it was never to that point where they even thought I would blast them like that because they know I'm not that kind of person. They can look at my wall and see exactly what I talk about. They can see who I talk. I don't mention names. I don't typically post screenshots of stuff. And if I do, it's usually something that's funny and I blanked out the person's name. Unless it's something political, then I'll probably put their name because it's like, okay, you doing something silly, but never in a relationship vein where it's related to somebody who was trying to get to know me or anything like that. Because that's a very intimate time. And that's a precious time that everybody should be protecting of somebody else. That just is being a human being. Just because someone is expressing interest in you doesn't mean that gives you full right to turn that interest into a meme, some joke. And if that is your intention on social media, ma'am, you get exactly what you deserve.
All right. So I got a few more things. I got a question, and I want Sam to take off, Frank to take off on this one. Got two more questions, but I also want to share an anonymous situation, and I want to hear what Marcus has to say about this one because I want to see him defend this bullshit. I don't think he can, but man, he be strong. The force is strong with this one. So a woman shared a situation where a man approached her, and I'm just going to read what she shared, and she said I could. So a very attractive woman, by the way. She says, a couple of weeks ago, I am at Walmart. Sigh. Dude approaches me about my haircut. I don't understand this because I don't do designs. He's a barber, asks if I have a barber, then offers me a free cut to try him. I tell him no thank you. He follows me through checkout, follows me to my car, puts my purchases in my car, and continues to try to persuade me to let him cut hair after I told him no several times. I was very polite. He then looks at my feet and states that he would give me a foot massage. He then asks if I can tell that he's attracted to me, to which I answer no. He then asks if I'm single, to which I answered no. And his next question was, can I have a hug?
What?
She then says to herself, she then says, dude, you're a whole stranger who approached me in the store about a haircut. She then says, this is what we women hate about men approaching us in public. No matter how nice we are, some men just don't get it. And because we're out by ourselves, we have to play nice and play safe because we don't know the dude's mental state. I should not have been followed through the checkout. I should not have been followed to my car. I should not have been asked for a hug. This ought to be an easy around the bend. Niggas, y'all need to cut that shit out. That should be very simple. I don't think we should have one deflection, but Marcus, I need you. Give somebody some smoke here.
Well, let me ask.
Oh shit.
Is it easier to ask a woman to lock her door, or is it easier to ask a thief to stop thieving? Which one is easier?
It's definitely easy to ask a woman to lock her door, but go ahead.
Well,
She was in the store. What was she?
She in a
grocery
public store. She wasn't at the house.
I get it.
She should have had security with her. That's what you're saying?
Well,
Sounds like it.
listen.
Tapping my hip.
I get it. Okay, but here's the thing. I guess I have several questions, right? Now, of course, you don't have to be out with your husband all the time or whatever. I get that. But what time of night was it? Or day?
She's at Walmart, man.
This kind of stuff happens at 11 o'clock in the morning, sir, in Publix.
Mark, there's no way he...
And it does happen when you out with your husband. People don't care.
I guarantee you that guy would not have done all that if she was out with her husband. Bullshit. I guarantee you.
Bullshit. My
husband
walked down the aisle.
It wouldn't have got that far. No.
It would have never even.
It would never got that far. No, it would have never got that far. No. Okay, if you're out with your husband, if you're out with your husband and he don't see your husband, maybe. Out with your husband and he don't see your husband, maybe. Out with your husband in the line, no man in the history of the world.
Oh well, no, not when he's standing right there, but hold on. I've had it where a guy saw my husband walked away, and he came up to me when my husband walked away. Absolutely, that has happened many times.
But hold on, wait. Listen, there can't be no parameters here. This woman is in Walmart and it's a barber asking to cut her hair. I'm pretty sure it's daytime. Let's just say it's daytime. Let's just say it's 3 o'clock, whatever the case may be. None of that should have went down. Marcus.
I mean, there's no disagreement as far as whether or not it should have went down. But I guess it's like, well, again, you're not ever going to be able to, stop crazy people from being crazy. Mm-hmm. So then how do you deal with it? Again, I'm a solutions-oriented guy. It's always about the end result for me. So I get what you guys are saying, and I agree.
But
of course, he's crazy.
Told to do. She told dude she had somebody. She gave all of the indication of no. And he still didn't take no for an answer. This is why I have a concealed permit to this day. Because
she should have tased him
on the dude.
She should have tased him. So you saying she should have had a taser? So you saying she should have tased him? She should have been prepared to at least.
No. She's saying, listen, and I agree with Sheffy, right? So if I'm sending my wife out and whatever, then yeah, she's gonna be strapped. Because if she's not with me, she needs to be protected, right? Because that's my job, is to protect her. And so she's gonna be strapped, and she's gonna know how to use it, and she'll just politely let the person know that she's strapped and that he needs to get away from her. Or she'll call me and put it on speakerphone, and I'll say, "Sir, get away from her," and that'll be that.
You'll say it like that?
That's all I need to say.
Go ahead,
go ahead, Frank. What
else would need to be said? Because at that point, she's got a strap, and I just told you to get away from her.
The next thing that if it goes,
there's only action after that.
Yeah, it's legal. It's almost legal after that in most places. Frank. What is with dudes taking it that far? I want to know. We know crazy people are crazy people, but outside of the woman, you can have a taser, you can lock yourself in the house, but let's just say you don't have a taser. What is with these dudes? What is with these dudes?
I don't know. I don't understand it myself. I've never been a pushy person. You only got to tell me no one time. And then, I'm gone.
I'd be interested to know the attractiveness level of this dude, by the way. But my bad. Go ahead, Frank.
I mean, even if you don't even say no, but you're just showing signs of I'm uninterested, you're not engaging, then I'm gone. So I don't understand the mindset that some of these guys have. Like they have that Steve Urkel syndrome. You know, they want to wear Laura down. I don't know what it developed from. I don't know if it's a reaction to some type of childhood experience or whatever that they can't take no for an answer. I don't know if they was always told yes, so they just assume that they're supposed to get a yes. I don't know. That's crazy. This situation right here, that's absolutely insane. What makes me call it insane is the fact that after all those signs of rejection, he asked for a hug. Nigga, for what? What makes you?
Hug dudes are creeps. All of them. Every single one.
That's insane to me. She showed absolutely no interest. And he asked for a hug. Are you depressed? Like, what you need a hug for? Nigga, go to Walmart and get one of them 10-foot teddy bears there for $50. Hug on that. Hold that tight. If you need a hug, I don't understand that. That's completely insane to me, man. And if I was a woman, I would have felt real fearful, extremely fearful. I would have. If I was in that space, I would have had to, try to, at least insert my foot in that space. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'd be able to watch something like that. And I don't usually put myself in dangerous situations. But that would have weirded me out so much to where I would have felt obligated to insert my stuff in a situation like that. Like, my nigga, calm down. Yep. She said it 20 times. Go on about your business.
And the whole calling your dude and getting them on the phone, soon as you hang up, well, that dude ain't here. They do that too. There are men out here that simply are like apex predators. They do not care that you have a dude checking for you. They don't care if the dude is, some of them don't even care if the dude's standing there next to you. I've seen dudes will just slide a phone number while her dude scanning the damn groceries.
Well, that was once upon a time when, and I'm gonna move on to the next thing. I remember when we was growing up, bro. Teenagers, especially young dudes, depending on where you went in Decatur with your girl. If you just a dude by yourself with your girl and you walking by a bunch of dudes, this dude smiling because he know what we used to do. Listen, dudes would be trying to try to holler at your girl. I've seen dudes get their ass whooped by standing up to a group of dudes at Avondale Mall that was trying to shoot they shot at their girl. I mean, but that's not the same situation. But you're right. Some dudes just gonna try. It's disrespectful. It's crazy. Just cut it out. Anyway, the next thing I want to get into a little bit, man. Is there a such thing as, because I've had a few women talk about this in particular. Morgan's trying to call me. I've had a few men. I'm gonna put her on speaker on the live.
Don't do her like that.
I am. What? I'm on my live. What do y'all want?
I'm home now, but Dad, hear me out. Check me out, right? At 20, you was on kid number 2. So I feel like me just wanting a bottle, like a little $50 bottle, some tequila, just have fun with my friends, play some board games, do college activities, celebrate a night, my love partner or whatever. I feel like that's pretty,
delusional. It's pretty delusional. So since I had a kid, since I was on kid number 2 by age 20, you think I should send you money so you could have a little bottle and play board games? So I should participate in the purchase of illegal alcohol for a minor because she's my daughter because I had 2 children by 20.
Wait. Illegal alcohol.
I understand the logic.
I'm 21.
You're not 21. You're 20.
I'm 21. I'm 20 going on 21.
I love you.
Okay, give me. Okay, Dad, stop.
It's not for a bottle. Now it's for gas. Bye.
Should have been better off saying that at first.
Girl,
Right. They just said you'd have been better off saying that at first. I'm gonna call you in a few minutes. Bye.
I'm trying to be honest.
Oh, you're trying to be honest. I bet. Bye, girl. I gotta call you back. Bro, don't worry. Y'all laugh. Y'all both laugh. Sit back and laugh. This is gonna be y'all in the you right there, you right there. And Marcus,
I got one that's 22, probably 23.
Man, they there. So
They still gonna ask me about it.
Are some men in this day and age? Now we're not talking. Nobody on this panel fits this narrative. My boy Marcus, he don't. Sam, he don't. I don't. But there's this idea that some men are trying to be the bad bitch. And what
talk about that?
And what I think what that is, that's the modern man. If I was to say what a modern man is, I would think it's the man that's trying to be the bad bitch. Yeah, you can start with this one. What is that? Describe the men that women are referring to when they say these dudes are trying to be the bad bitch.
So the men we're referring to are men that typically want the chasing engagement piece that has been typically given to women. They want to be seen as the prize. They want to be wined and dined. They want to be flued out and all of that stuff. That's typically what women are talking about. Now, again, y'all know I'm not your typical woman. I navigate relationships completely differently. Most of the dudes I've dated, I've flown out at least once. I don't have problems spending money on a man.
Wait, was it the initial fly out or was it a fly out?
It was a fly out. I don't do initial flyouts at all.
Okay, see, that's different.
For an initial greeting, I'm probably coming to you, and that's just because I travel. Okay. I don't think anybody should be doing initial flyouts. That's worse than the having a first date with no conversation. Like, no, work up to that. I don't have a problem with paying for a dude to go to the spa for a day. Or a basketball game, baseball game, whatever. I don't mind doing those things for a guy I'm really interested in. It's
so you the one that's creating these bad bitches. That's what I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing. You the one creating all these bad bitches.
Well, wait a minute.
You a good dude though. You are a great guy. Okay.
But here's the problem with the whole bad bitch mentality, period. It goes back to what I said earlier about women in social media thinking they are a bigger prize than they actually are because they done got 10 million dudes telling them they fine. The same thing is now happening to these guys. They think because these couple of guys are getting meals cooked, feet rubbed, and they drinking stuff made for them, well, I should get that too. Not realizing that these guys are providing safe spaces. They're emotionally intelligent. They're funny. They're good in bed. They're available.
Back that part up right there. They're funny, and then what?
They're good in bed.
That dick get you a long way, boy.
It gets you a long way.
It get you a long way.
Long way. Because we all know that sex and ejaculation are natural antidepressants in women. So absolutely, if you're throwing it in the bed, you could get away with a lot. But a lot of these men that are thinking they need this bad bitch treatment don't have any of these qualities. No different than the women who think they should get bad bitch treatment that would come on Kevin Samuels. Well, I deserve a high value man. Ma'am, you work at Walmart. You don't even qualify. Like, stop.
Whoa. That ain't, but that's not the factor.
Yeah, that's not
It ain't,
It's not
like
the only factor.
Walmart workers can get a high value man. See,
Okay,
that's where y'all gonna get it.
As long as she don't look like
the
one.
Walmart thing is only one qualifier.
I done seen some bad Walmart workers. Let's not cap. Let's not cap, fellas. Please don't cap.
No. That's what I said. It depends on what she look like at Walmart. It depends on what she look like.
I know y'all done seen a couple nines at Walmart.
Let me finish. Your typical woman working at Walmart isn't necessarily even in the vein to encounter a high value man. Let's be real.
High value men would go to Walmart.
No, they don't. They go to Whole Foods.
No, they don't. They go to Walmart.
But anyway, that detracts from the point. At the end of the day, what it boils down to is you have to be in the vein to receive these things. Like, men will come on, what happened to the women who make sandwiches and kiss the man on the cheek and give head as soon as he walked through the door? We out here, you just aren't the man that is receiving it. It's you. And it's no different with the whole bad bitch mentality. I haven't had a problem with a dude wanting to fly me out. I haven't had these issues, but in most cases, I'm the overweight girl, and I'm plain. But at the end of the day, I have a whole lot of other qualities that make me more viable to certain types of men. And I've never had a problem dating because of that. So it's one of those things where everybody has to navigate within the field of where you are most desirable, instead of trying to get these people who never desired you in the first place to desire you, and now you feel some type of way. Everybody is not the bad bitch. I'm not the bad bitch. I'm the teammate. I'm the woman that's going to help you out. And I'm okay with being that woman. I stay in.
Well, what do you think? What type of guy do you think? What type of guy do you think is that's going to attract?
It has attracted exactly who I wanted to attract. Driven men who wanted to increase themselves in life, and they got what they wanted.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm fine I'm fine with where I am as a woman and the men I have dated. No, I don't pick up the guy that's doing nothing with his life and turn him into no millionaire or nothing like that. I'm a good teammate for a driven man because I'm also a driven woman. So I'm going to help you drive. I'm not going to lead you because that's not my job. But I'm over here with the map, helping you out. It ain't my job to lead you because I stay in my place.
She holding the map. She holding the map. Can she hold the map? Can she hold the map and say, baby, it's a left up there? I'm just helping you navigate, baby. Wait.
My sandwich.
Oh, I made the sandwiches for the trip, baby. Don't worry.
She did that too.
The sandwiches are in the car. The cooler got ice, and it's got the
I don't want to hear nothing about no map. I don't want to hear none of that. Zip it.
But you know what?
God bless you be doing your own thing. But I don't want that energy that's like, oh, I'm gonna help build you up and da.
No, it's not that. It's not the energy.
No,
of
she said. I think
up.
Chef is saying she's doing what's required based on the man she's with, as long as he's driven. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Marcus, you have a particular mode. You got to remember, man, you got an old school, my granddaddy type of thing that I come from and I understand, and we navigate these lanes very similarly. You ain't taking no shit out here, especially later. Like, you're at that stage now to where, man, I just need you just date a little longer. When this man gonna date a little longer, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. He gonna date a little longer. He gonna run through some of these youngins. He gonna enjoy all of it. Some woman that's 35 and something gonna come along, and they gonna be coming out the gym at the same time. He gonna be coming out, and she gonna be coming in, and she gonna look at him, and he gonna look back, and he gonna say, "All right, I ain't gonna say nothing this time. I'm gonna see what I see next time." Because at the gym, you can't say nothing the first time. And then he gonna stumble back off in there. He gonna see again, and she gonna speak, and he gonna smile and wink, and that she gonna say, "I like that gray," and she gonna just keep it moving. And then he gonna look back, and he gonna, okay, I don't see nothing about that. And the next time, and eventually he gonna say something, and eventually she gonna say something, and it's gonna be that
We gonna get a
right
wedding
age,
invitation.
right stage, right look, all that other stuff. And he goes like, I like them young ones, but this one in this age range, she just she gets it. She's also energetic, and she's also this. And I'm gonna get an invite to a wedding, and he ain't gonna tell me nothing about it the whole time because it's gonna creep up on him. And then I'm gonna have a little bit more money, and then we're gonna go to the Dominican Republic. We're gonna be some passport bros for his bachelor party. We passport blowing that shit up.
Sam, would you do that? Would you do that, Sam?
He gonna have no choice. He gonna have no choice.
Would you go to Colombia, the DR?
Listen, I'm gonna hit him over the head. Listen, I'm gonna hit him over the head.
Go?
I'm gonna hit him over the head.
No. I'm talking about, would you go?
No, Sam ain't doing that. But
so you're not gonna participate in the activities?
Hell no.
Third one, no. Hold on. So I want to get. So hold on. I want to get.
I guess somebody got to drive.
I want to get Frank's take on the men that are trying to be bad bitches. The modern, whatever this is, whatever this is. What is it? What is it?
They ain't men. That's for damn sure. It's
they're men.
Because like when we was talking about with matchmaking, when she was saying the guy stay at home and he preferred to stay at home while the wife working, y'all didn't work for them, whatever. It's like it got to be something in you that makes you want to do manly things. And having someone financially support you and given to you, not I ain't talking about things being reciprocated in a relationship, but looking for someone to sponsor you, looking for someone to pursue you and court you. How do you feel like you have an ounce of testosterone when that's your desire? Like the whole fun of the pursuit is actually pursuing and not being pursued.
The hunt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't go after the hunt lions and jump off the safari jeep with some raw meat attached to them to bait the lions. You know what I'm saying? They want to go and find the lion. Once they do subdue the lion, it's gratifying because they put the work in to find it, pursue it, and capture it. That's why they take it as a prize. You understand what I'm saying? So if you have the mindset as a guy that she has to do all these things that were traditionally a man's responsibility, then it's like I don't understand how that doesn't conflict with your manhood.
Right.
Well, they saw their mama doing it. They saw their mama doing it. So if they saw their mama doing it, they saw their mama was doing they thing or whatnot, and then you know what I'm saying, they come up and this woman is she does hair, makeup, or whatever, makes $150,000, $200,000 a year, whatever it is, and you know what I'm saying, that's basically the mindset that you grew up with, and so that's what you're gonna do in adulthood, and you don't see anything wrong with it. And of course, the women saw their mamas doing it, so they have the mentality of, I'm gonna be this, big earner, all this stuff, and help navigate and da. And so they have
not the same. Not the same.
It's not the same.
No, I just threw that in there.
He give a shit.
I just messing with you. But Yeah, so I mean, yeah, of course you have these guys out here, but it's kind of perpetuated by the culture that has come about. You know what I'm saying? If you have more masculine women, by default, you're gonna probably
You gotta
have
have some
more.
feminine men.
That's
You
just,
gotta have some more feminine men.
that's
You
how it goes.
absolutely have to. You have
It's
to.
unfortunate because I think it doesn't serve each party at all. Like,
No, it doesn't serve us.
I may be the
No.
type of woman that pay for a spa day for my dude, but it's not from a place of I'm masculine and taking care of him so much as it's like you deserve a day to relax. Just go relax.
Yeah.
Because I think
But-
self-care is important, and I
and
don't
I
think
think-
a lot of men get enough support in their own self-care, especially from their women. A lot of women are so expectant of their man to always be on that they don't give the time for the man to be off. And I'm emotionally intelligent enough to know sometimes that dude need to be away from me and he just need to go be able to relax, go sit in a cigar bar and hang out with the fellas or just hang out by himself. And I don't mind paying for that experience because I want
All
you
that
to
stuff
relax.
sounds good, Sheffy. You be having all the talking points. I ain't gonna care. You got the talking points. You got all that, but I don't for 1 second. I don't for 1 second buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this.
Because what matters isn't talking points. What matters is how you show up in a relationship.
And that is how I've shown up in every relationship I've ever been
I'd be interested in talking to your ex to see how he experienced you in the relationship. Because all this stuff sounds great.
Exact thing. His son came to stay with us because I flew him out for his birthday to see his child, and he ended up bringing that child back. And
so then, why would anybody? Why would anybody want to get rid of the action behind these talking points?
Hold on, wait.
Because that's just if you're
let it fly,
no. If you're asking
let it fly.
me,
Let it fly.
I'm letting it fly. If you're asking me what ended up being the demise of our marriage, it was because I'm not gonna put my husband on blast, my ex-husband on blast. That's not
Don't expect it. Right.
I will say being a military spouse comes with a whole lot of things that even the military service member doesn't realize. And what typically happens is if both people aren't in a place where they're getting the help that they need, you grow apart.
What help?
It doesn't mean you love each other less.
You mean the help that you need as far as in the responsibilities of
mental
you
and
say the what?
Mental and emotional help. Yes. Anybody who has navigated somebody who has gone to war, everybody needs therapy.
So you're talking about therapy?
Yes. And not getting therapy can lead to so much animosity between people that a lot of times you don't even realize it's happened until that person is gone for a month and you kind of glad they're gone. These are the things that lead to that disconnect. To this day and every day forward, as long as my husband is alive, I will still show up for him in the same way. Because that's the woman I am.
No, I get it. Yeah,
I would say to piggyback off that, I ain't go to war. Not what I do.
Nah, y'all don't.
But we don't. But let me tell you one thing that I did not know. Yeah, we finesse. One thing I did not know. But hold on. Extremely, the difference in what we do is there's no breaks. See, war is an extreme, and then the breaks on the other side are extreme. Where what I do, there's no breaks. You always own. And with us always being on, whether we home or gone, that gone, it creates some dynamics. Also, all military people, this is one thing that's unfortunately it's a creature comfort, it's a coping mechanism, and it is a way in which we have to function. We have to be able to drop everything and everybody at a moment and go do something else. So we have this detached thing to where everything and everybody is immediately expendable and borderline temporary. Like, because all things are. I mean, in reality, life is temporary, right? Well, in the military, you get indoctrinated with this idea that everything is temporary. This is all going to change. I can be here a year, I can be here 9 months, I can be here 4 years, but I'm going to go. And then what you do is you look back at the people that you love and you care for and you take care of, and you say, y'all understand, when it's time to go, I'm going to go. And then what you, if you're not groomed, if you don't take this into consideration, that when I go and I come back, y'all might not be exactly the same, and I might not be exactly the same. So there has to be a temperature check. But men, oftentimes, because we're go-getters, we're just hard charging, we ain't checking the temperature of the room, we just walk up in the room. And if the temperature is off, we just feel like we can change it with a switch. It's a lot to it, man. I would never say that if you're married to a military person that it's easy. There is a comfortable lifestyle that comes with it, but the stress and some of the anxiety and some of the other shit, man, yeah,
I almost cried.
Yeah, it's some creature comforts that come with it, but it's some sacrifices along the way. Yeah. I will say this to what Marcus said about all them talking points that you be hitting. I would just venture to say that, man, a lot of the things Sheffy says I experienced in dating several times, but a lot of men don't experience those things because if you don't have an early experience with those things, you cannot vet for those things. So when you're talking about, you reach out to a man and you say, hey, you need a spa day. Hey, I'm going to take care of that. Hey, I bought you, whatever you need to do. If you don't experience that a few times, you don't know how to even recognize that from afar. So a lot of men, they don't even get the opportunity. You ain't experiencing that as a 23-year-old man dating in the regular world. You damn sure ain't experiencing it as a teenager. You don't experience that until you experience it. And then once you do, you know. And I had a few fortunate experiences along the way to where my eyes were keen, and I witnessed my grandmother, and I witnessed, my mom, and I witnessed my father. I witnessed a few people along the way to kind of say, okay, I kind of can peep some things, and then it gets put all together. A lot of dudes, unfortunately, brought up in situations where, like Marcus said, the mom is just hard charging, taking care of the house, and I'm the only mom, and the man ain't. It's so many dynamics in this place, man, that we can't just fault men for being a bad bitch. It's been created by our culture. It really has been created by our culture. What we can do what can be done to reverse it, I don't even want Marcus to go into that right now because I already know where he's going.
The thing to reverse it is to actually experience it. It goes back to the whole thing about being played.
How do you experience it if you never, you can't
I'm explaining. It goes back to the whole notion of being played. Women will go into a relationship saying, oh, I ain't spending on no man. He a man. He supposed to spend on me. And I'm like, you do realize that just like you want safety from him to be your best submissive self, that if you turn around and apply some care to him, he will care for you. It's reciprocity that comes with that. And because a lot of women haven't experienced that reciprocity because they maybe not have had fathers in their lives, they in turn don't even know how to give it. So then that comes back to the guys who haven't had fathers in their lives to even see this happening, to know that it's normal. No, I mean, like, the guy that I dated before in the middle of me dating my husband, he would call me sometimes and be like, yeah, I'm just having a bad day. It's real stressful. And sometimes because I did route sales at the time, I show up to the office with a pizza and his favorite candy and say, have a good lunch. And he'll be like, I'm just not deserving of this. And I'm like, why wouldn't you think you are deserving? I mean, you said you're having a bad day. I'm bringing you your favorite foods just so you feel a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Things like that. If women step out of their comfort zone and stop thinking that everything has to come from the man, because a lot of women think that way. Well, I'm just supposed to be pretty and he just supposed to. Nah, sis, we passed that. It's a combination of this modernness that people are wanting, where women are a little bit more expressive, spend a little bit more money, are a little bit more forward in even shooting their shots. And a combination of men also being able to be reciprocal of that energy that they're getting and not take it as being masculine. Because a lot of times it's not, but for some men, they take it as being masculine. Well, I'm supposed to do everything. You doing something for me, blah, 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 blah. There has to be balance between the two. Women need to be a little bit more giving to men. Men have to also take a step back and be a little bit more receiving. I think a lot of guys will go into a situation thinking, number one, they don't deserve something because, well, I haven't earned it, blah, 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 blah. It's not about earning so much as it's about, I'm just want to do something nice for you. And don't take offense to it. And a lot of guys will take offense. I've had a guy take offense that I paid for a date that I asked for. I asked for the date. And why are you mad? Because I paid. It's Zaxby's. I spent like $20. Stop playing. So, things like that are the dynamic where I think a lot of men are turned off because they feel certain energy is masculine. And sometimes those women are just straight being masculine. Ain't gonna lie. But sometimes a woman is just genuinely trying to show you a nice time. But not enough women are doing it to where it's normal.
Well, we just said 75% of women in our culture make under $50,000. So, I get it, but
buying a drink in a bar ain't gonna break sis. She will be fine.
But like she said, it's the mindset. It is the mindset. It's the mindset that I ain't even finna. Like that mindset that a lot of women have. I ain't finna buy.
It's according to your options. It's according to your options. Like that's like me telling my daughters, like, oh yeah, you should be willing to buy all this stuff for guys. Well, guess what? Guess what? I'm raising some princesses, and they're gonna be beautiful, and they're gonna be smart, and they're gonna be this, and they're gonna be that, and then they're gonna have a lot of value. And so, they've got options to where they don't need to be doing all that.
That's not
what I'm saying. I get what you're saying. Like once you're dealing with a guy, then
you're in an actual relationship. It's teamwork at that point.
Even early in the dude. I have a physical specification type. It is what it is, but I've always had a personality type, and I was able to vet for certain things so early on to where my experiences started to all become similar with the types of women and just the most basic of things. This is one of the most basic things. All men out there, I'm gonna clip this off so y'all can hear. You invite a woman over to your crib. You invite her to your place for dinner, drinks, whatever the hell, and that mug don't say, I'm on my way, I'm finna leave in X amount of time. Do I need to bring something? Most men are gonna flat out say, just bring your fine ass. However, the thought, she could have been capping, she could have been fronting and didn't have nothing to bring nothing with. But the fact that she thought to say that puts her in another category alone. And there are so many women that don't even know to do that simple thing. These are something our grandmothers, great grandmothers, and elders were doing when they just showed up to somebody's house. So when that one little click right there, when I've ever invited a woman over to the crib and she at least did that, I knew the rest of that other stuff was just a matter of time. And so we got to be able to vet this stuff out. We got to be able to have these experiences. More men need these experiences so they can vet these things out. Frank, I'm gonna let you close it out on this particular topic so we can shut this thing on down. I think you already gave your thoughts on the bad bit. Yeah, you gave your thoughts. Everybody gave their thoughts on it. We ran 2.5 hours. This is episode number 12. See y'all next week, man. I appreciate y'all coming on. I'm pretty sure we're gonna come up with some more shit. And I know Desi's gonna eventually have a response to what Marcus had to say.
She might have to do her own video by herself.
Yeah. She gonna have a private.
It's about strategy. Listen, it's all in love.
Numbers
it's all
is not
in love,
but
it's about strategy. It's
that
about strategy.
That may be the whole first hour.
The numbers game is not a strategy when you older. You gotta
get out of here, man. Have a good night. Damn,